to another episode of the Modern Manifestation Podcast. I'm your host, Bree Brown, a lettuce-hating, wine-loving, curses like a sailor, recovering perfectionist. Having thrived in a male-dominated, commission-based industry, I'm passionate about helping women boldly pursue their life goals. In this space, we build confidence with our mindset, manifestation, and spirituality. I believe that your life manifests as a result of who you are, not what you do, and that your personality creates your personal reality. Join this growing community to increase your net worth by increasing your self-worth. Now let's jump into today's topic. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to the Modern Manifestation Podcast. I'm Bree Brown, and today we are diving into a concept that is really great to keep in mind as we are thinking about the year ahead of us. The topic of today is the novelty effect. And I want to talk about this today because understanding this concept might just change how you approach your goals, your relationships, and honestly, your entire fucking life for 2026. And since many of us are in that goal setting and that future planning mode, I felt like this was a great topic to start off with in January. So let's talk about why new things feel so incredible and what to do when that newness wears off. For most of us, new things feel amazing. There's always people that don't love change, but a lot of times people love spontaneity and trying something new. This is the novelty effect at play. A temporary boost in motivation, in performance, or even interest when we experience something new, unusual, or unexpected. So this could be something like the first day at a new job, the first day of school, the first 6 months of a relationship, the first time you take a dance class. There's this rush of excitement, of motivation and possibility, things to come. And when we experience these new things, our brains light up like a freaking Christmas tree. We just get so excited. We get this rush of dopamine. So think back to that last time you did something just for you. You probably couldn't stop thinking about it for the weeks following. Because when you start something new, oftentimes it feels really fun. But over time, after a few weeks or maybe even a few months, that new job starts to feel like a routine. That new relationship starts to settle, and maybe you feel like the passion diminishes just a little bit. Or that new exciting workout plan you were excited about becomes just another thing you have to do, another thing on your checklist. That magic soon starts to fade. And then you're no longer in the honeymoon phase of whatever that thing was. And if you're still showing up, kudos to you, but it's probably different now. Or maybe you've moved on entirely, seeking the next thing. That's what I would do. I would jump from thing to thing, hobby to hobby, person to person. This is the novelty effect in action. And here's what's happening neurologically. When we encounter something new, our brains release dopamine, that feel-good neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. It's the hormone we'll experience when food tastes really good, when we scroll social media, when we get likes on our posts. That's all dopamine. It's a quick fix for our brain. And new experiences activate our brain's reward circuitry because our survival predicated on our ancestors being curious about new territory, new food, new water sources, new tools. And the ones that got a little high off of exploration, those were the ones who lived. Those were the ones who passed down their genes. And so our brains learn to associate reward with curiosity and exploration, with new things, by being excited about these new things. However, our brains are also incredibly practical and efficient at adapting. So once something becomes familiar, it stops wasting energy on creating that dopamine response. This is why over time that new car smell eventually just becomes your car. Why that promotion you worked so hard for eventually just feels like your job again. Or why even the most exciting manifestation can lose its sparkle once it becomes your reality. This process is called hedonic adaptation. We just adapt and get used to stuff. And it works like homeostasis for our happiness levels. We always return to a baseline. It's also why lottery winners no longer report a high level of happiness 1 to 2 years after winning. They've returned to their baseline already. And this isn't a flaw in evolution. This is just a feature of our survival over time. So understanding this novelty effect is quite liberating because when you know how your brain works, when you know why you do certain things and have certain responses, you can work with it instead of against it. And that gives you more agency in life. And that allows you to shape how you respond to things from a more informed place. So let's talk about a few reasons why the novelty effect matters so much in your life. The first thing, it can help us slow down the perception of time. This is the gorgeous thing about the novelty effect. If you ever make comments like, the past year just flew by, where did the last 5 years go? Or if you just feel like time is passing you by and you're struggling to keep up, as humans, we have a subjective perception of time. But the novelty effect can help us slow it down and enjoy it by becoming more present. And the more new and exciting experiences we have, the more we tend to be more aware and less habitual about how we're spending our time. Matt Johnson, a professor at Holt International Business School, said this: as we age, fewer experiences are truly novel, and the brain tends to compress repetitive or familiar events, making them seem shorter in retrospect. So basically, our brains will defrag our system and condense all the similar things that we've done into one bucket and make time feel like it goes by more quickly. So if you want to be more present in life, if you want to be more present for life, if you want to feel like things are slowing down, give yourself new experiences. Allow yourself to enjoy novelty. The second one I want to talk about is the biggest lesson for myself of late. The novelty effect explains why so many of us struggle with consistency. Not because you're lazy, not because you're undisciplined, not because something might not be right for you, but because we keep waiting for that excitement to return. You might start off really strong with a meditation practice or a business idea or some creative project. Maybe you show up fully to this new relationship, and then over time you lose steam. And it's not because something isn't right for you, it's not meant for you, it's the universe trying to push you in a different direction. Sometimes it can be that, but more often than not, we just need to understand what's going on in our brains. It's because your brain stopped giving you that dopamine hit for that particular activity, person, idea, whatever it is. And that's supposed to happen. The feeling was meant to be temporary anyway. That dopamine hit was supposed to just be a quick little reward for doing something new. But so many of us take this as a sign that something isn't meant for us, that maybe we're being pushed in a different direction. So then you might go searching for the next thing, the next person, the next idea that'll give you that initial rush. Always chasing that honeymoon phase. And the mistake here is thinking that motivation or inspiration or excitement should feel the exact same on day 1 as it does on day 100 or day 1000. But it won't, it doesn't, and that's okay. And when we understand this, we can start to shift what drives our actions. Then you can build systems and habits that help you carry through that plateau phase, which is that critical period after novelty fades, but you're not quite yet seeing results. And it's important to have these systems and habits in place when you're not feeling it. Because you don't want to have habits that depend on how you're feeling on any given day, how you're experiencing your emotions. So here's some examples of some of these habits and structures. You might work on your new website every day for 45 minutes at 10 a.m. And that's a rule for yourself. Or maybe you spend 5 minutes meditating before your daily shower. Or maybe you spend 10 minutes every lunch learning a new language. You get to choose which set of rules work for you. And only you. Yours will be different from mine, your friends, etc. Just make sure they're the kind of rules that'll help you get to where you want to go. So maybe when you're excited, you create what these rules are, and then your commitment to yourself is that you stick to them. Because when that excitement's gone, at least you still have the processes in place. You show up because it's Tuesday, and you show up to that thing on Tuesdays, not because you're pumped about it. And there is an element of discipline to this, but that's how we can start to tease out the novelty effect from the things that we want to accomplish long term. And we need to have that separation in order to consistently show up and grow in our lives. The third thing I want to talk about with this novelty effect is that it has massive implications on our relationships. And this is something that honestly deserves so much discussion around because I see it all the time. The beginning of a romantic relationship is chemically altered by norepinephrine, serotonin, dopamine. Your brain is flooded with novelty because everything about this person is so new and exciting, and they haven't learned how to piss you off yet. And then over time, you get to know this new person. They become familiar. Your nervous system calms down a bit. And this is when a lot of people, especially our young friends, often mistake the absence of novelty for the absence of love. They might think something's wrong, that spark seems to be gone. And then they might start looking for that intensity or that passion elsewhere. So maybe you've had a friend in life that has a new job or new partner every few months, always chasing that honeymoon phase. However, deep, lasting love isn't about maintaining constant novelty. Real intimacy starts after the dopamine hit fades. When your nervous system starts to recognize this new person as someone that is safe and someone that is stable. I know I've mentioned this before, but in my early 20s, I loved toxic men. I chased them around everywhere. And I thought that they offered this passion and excitement and this spark to life, when really it was just toxicity and novelty wrapped up into a good drug cocktail. And the highs were highs, but lows were really low. And I know I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but I think it's important to say this. Your nervous system can really help you understand and recognize who is safe and what a healthy relationship feels like, and then who is not and what it doesn't. So when you're in a relationship and you feel very good and calm and content, and you don't feel like you're walking on eggshells, this is good. This is healthy, because a relationship should not feel like a roller coaster. The novelty effect does not mean your relationship lost its spark. And lasting relationships require that you choose to continue discovering someone even after they become familiar. And using this novelty effect, you can start to intentionally create new experiences with your partner. Which is great because research shows us that couples who regularly engage in new things together, like new restaurants, traveling to new places, learning new skills, those couples tend to report higher relationship satisfaction overall. And so now you can use this novelty effect that we've been talking about to reinvigorate your relationship. You can hack the novelty effect to foster more connection, trust, physical affection in your relationship. And when you do this, you get something better than dopamine. When you spend really meaningful quality time together, you start to experience more oxytocin. And unlike its fleeting counterpart in dopamine, oxytocin provides long-term emotional security, deep social bonding, and it calms the nervous system. And this is the stuff that changes you for the better from the inside out. So while dopamine it's kind of like a cheaper hormone, really, you get a quick hit, and then it moves on. And that's great and that's fun in the beginning. But over time, when you want to build something really meaningful in life, that's oxytocin. So use the novelty effect to help create this for yourself and for your relationships. The fourth thing that the novelty effect asks us to be mindful of is perpetual seeking, or how to avoid the trap of perpetual seeking. There are people in this world, and I'm sitting here pointing to myself, that are addicted to the high of new beginnings, a new course, a new coach, a new modality, new manifestation technique, new growth. And they mistake the high of something for the actual progress. And I used to confuse these initial chemical cocktails that were happening in my brain. I assumed this excitement was my alignment. It was the universe telling me the direction I needed to go. And I assumed that when this dopamine went away, or when it faded, that was spirit, that was the universe telling me to look somewhere else, to do something else. But nay, little Brie, I finally realized I was constantly starting something, never sustaining, never building, always moving to the next thing. I was experiencing the novelty effect, and I was addicted to it. But real personal transformation required me to stay with something long enough to actually understand it, to integrate it, to let it change me, to get past the novelty phase and into that mastery phase where real depth and real growth lies. So now that we've kind of talked about some of the nuances of the novelty effect, what do we actually do with this information? The first thing, expect the plateau phase. Know that the initial excitement about something will eventually fade. The novelty effect can help you prepare. And that doesn't mean that anything's gone wrong. It just means you're entering the next phase. And that's okay. Have your structures, have your habits, and move through it. The next thing is inject novelty intentionally in your life. This relates back to that perception of time. You don't have to abandon what's working for you. Just introduce variations. Change your workout routine. Take a different route to work. Work from a different location. Or approach your meditation practice from a new angle. Ask your partner to change up your dates. Maybe you guys try something new together. Maybe instead of that same vacation you take every year, you go somewhere new, somewhere exciting. Small changes can reactivate your brain's reward system. So use the novelty effect to try to intentionally find more moments in your life to be present. The next thing is to focus on depth. Instead of asking what's new, start asking what's deeper than this. Become really curious. What layers of meaning can you discover in what is already familiar? When that novelty effect starts to wear off, what else is there here for you to learn, to experience, to do, to change? And what becomes available through repetition or structure or habits that novelty alone can't provide? And the last thing I'll speak to is practicing gratitude for what is familiar already. Because we know that gratitude rewires our neural pathways so that we can find more joy in our present, not just what's novel. And what I love about a practice of gratitude is that gratitude creates oxytocin, that longer lasting, calming, more sustainable feel-good hormone that we talked about earlier. That hormone that really brings depth and satisfaction to our lives. So those are my tips for you today. Remember, the novelty effect is not your enemy. It can be really fun, but it can also be very rewarding and very teaching. It's not something you have to overcome or something you have to resist. It's simply how your incredibly sophisticated brain has evolved, has operated. And when you understand it, you can design a life that both honors your need for newness, but then also honors your capacity for depth and growth. And when we recognize this, we get to chase fewer shiny objects and commit more fully to the things that actually matter to us. We start to sustain momentum past the initial excitement. And that's when we really get to build something real, become someone we're proud of, someone that both understands and is informed by the novelty of life. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. Have a fantastic rest of your week, and I will catch y'all in the next episode. Until then, go out there and manifest some miracles.